had problems with success. Nothing I ever did ever seemed to work very well. Even though I went to Princeton, I could get a good job. I used to get fired after 3 months. So I was always losing my jobs, and in fact, I read a book once that said you should write down all the jobs you'd ever had, and I was very hardworking. I had 65 jobs up to that point. I just had problems succeeding, getting to the top. You know, I always wanted what do you want to say? The cars, the money, the girls, and I didn't have any. You have to realize in my 65 jobs, I sold coupons to a photo studio. I was a garbage man. I sold vacuum cleaners. I dug ditches. You know, I had plenty of menial jobs.
Hello, and welcome to Life's Journey. I'm so excited today to be here in New York City, to be able to tell you the story of Mac Barnes. What an incredible story he has, because he's a man who comes from what we think that if we could have in life, we'd have it all. He had the family that absolutely adored him. He had the education, a Princeton grad. He had a family. He had everything that we think that if we need, we'll never have a problem in life. And he had a lot of problems. With his Princeton graduate, he was able to get lots of jobs, but he couldn't keep them. He was married, but he was unable to have children. His mom was diagnosed with cancer and she needed a miracle. And even with all the money, those doctors didn't have an answer for a miracle for her. But Mac went on a search and he went looking for a miracle. He didn't know where to go or who to turn to. He went to a yogi center, but he could find no help there. Let me tell you where your help can be found today. It can be found in the Lord Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ is the only one that rose again from the dead on our behalf, that he might ever live to make intercession for us and be there for whatever we need in life. So today, as you hear Mac's story, I pray that you'll understand that there is no excuse. He had it all, but he couldn't hold down a job and he couldn't accomplish many things in life. You might not have anything, and you might be thinking, because I don't have an education and because I don't have a family, I can't accomplish anything. Let me tell you, with an education or without an education, we all need Jesus. He is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. He's the one that rose again, loves us unconditionally, is available to us 24 hours a day, and who has a plan for your life. Today, as you hear the story of Mac Barnes, I pray that you'll put your name in there and understand that God has a miracle for you and a life full of purpose and full of power for you to live today. God bless you.
Each day brings its own set of challenges, and none of us know what lies ahead.
You know, a terrible thing happened. My mom was a very slim lady, but she had cancer and she looked like she was pregnant. We went to the hospital where she was operated on, and the doctor told my brother and I in the hallway that I just had to sew her back up because cancer was everywhere and I just couldn't take out somebody's insides. And he said, it'll take a miracle for her to live more than 6 months. So where do you go when you need a miracle? And I ended up in a few places. I remember ending up in an ashram. It's a yogi center. And it was 4th of July, and all these yogis were like flying in from around the world. And the place was literally starting to get like coming off the ground. It was pretty spiritual. I met a friend of mine and he said, I have to go see a prophet in Richmond. So I said to him, can I go with you? We went to this meeting and I remember distinctly people were carrying Bibles. As I got close to the front door of the auditorium, I said, what have I got myself into? So it turned out to be a Ken Copeland victory crusade. And in the middle of the sermon, he put his hands on his stomach and he said something. And then he said, I don't know why I said that, but somebody in here needed it. And at that moment, I felt in my heart that my mother's cancer had been healed. And then at the end of the meeting, he said, anybody who wants to get saved, raise your hand. So I raised my hand, and you know, I haven't been the same ever since.
Nothing in your life will remain the same either if you will raise your hand and open your heart to Jesus.
I had all the prerequisites. I had the education. I'd been raised in a good family. My friends were good people. Their families were good families. I knew about Wall Street. My only problem was, you know, somewhere in here, what I wanted wasn't the best for everybody around me, and they could pick it up after a while. And now, boom, I'm changed on the inside, and what I want is the best for everybody around me.
Now is the moment. The Spirit of God is here.
L'Esprit mon Dieu est ici à
The Spirit of God is walking among us.
Et l'Esprit mon Dieu a fait a mouvementé.
All of a sudden, I was a nice guy on the inside.